It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Give yourself a hand for watching the show. Thank you, studio audience, and Mr. Announcer, Sean Dobie. Hey, it's time for the Geno Jones Show. I guess you're like, hey, we can read, we can see, we got you. Just in case, I am Geno Jones. I come to you live right here on my YouTube channel, Monday through Friday, unless there's a special circumstance. Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern here in the Carolinas, Charleston, South Carolina Metro. In Chicago, 5:30. In Los Angeles, 3:30. Subscribe, share, screen grab, pull some video, rip a video, just, what did they call it? Screen grab, there you go, screen grab, or rip some of the video, make it go viral. Subscribe, share, screen grab, like, and binge watch all my back episodes. The Geno Jones Show is brought to you by CM Transportation. If your business needs a dependable, reliable, on-time transportation company, or maybe you're starting a new business, or you just started one, and you need a transportation company. You know, a company with drivers to transport your goods to and from. You need a transportation that you can depend on, that you can rely on, and that is on time. CM, like Mary, like my mother's name, CM Transportation. Carissa Carter, shout out to Carissa Carter. She is the CEO of CM Transportation, one of the top transportation companies in America. Just happened to be black woman owned. This sister is amazing. Her company is fabulous. One of the top in the country. You can Google it. Don't take my word for it. You can, but Google it yourself. As a matter of fact, go to her website. Go to cmtransportationllc.net. CM, like Mary, transportationllc.net, or you can call 843 area code 606-2702, 843 area code 606-2702, and tell Carissa or tell CM Transportation you are watching the Geno Jones Show and your business needs a dependable, reliable, on-time transportation company for your business, and she got you. They have you. Today, April 24th, this Wednesday. So on Wednesdays, the theme of the show, Working Divas Wednesday. Salute and shout out to all my working divas. I don't care where you work at home, in the office, maybe you're in the transportation business, in your truck or your car, your Uber, your Lyft, your ride share, your ground transportation. If you work in the air as a flight attendant, if you work in the pole, I don't care. It's all good. Shout out and salute to all my working divas. Today, April 24th, 2024. Election Day is 195 days away from today, November 5th. Now, I'm going to come back to that in a few minutes. Speaking of today, happy birthday to R&B star Kalani. She's got a hot new song called After Hours. Kalani, 29 today. Derek Luke. So if you remember the movie Antoine Fisher, Denzel Washington was in that movie, and the other co-star was, at the time, a young brother. He's gone on. You saw him in the movie Biker Boys. He played Diddy. No Diddy. He played Diddy for all the dirt and drama came out. So he played Diddy in Notorious. And he was also in Captain America. I'm talking about Derek Luke, the big nickel today. Man, Derek Luke is 50. I remember he was a young brother in Antoine Fisher. So happy big nickel to Derek Luke. And celebrating a birthday today, he is the big 6-0, the big 60, the big 6. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the original kings of comedy. You saw him. He was a host for BET's Comic View for a time. He was in Barbershop 1 and Barbershop 2, back in business. I am talking about one Cedric the Entertainer, repping the Lou. St. Lou, happy 60th birthday to Cedric said. All right, and all my fellow Taurians out there, happy birthday. Now, since I was just talking about Derek Luke, who turned the big nickel today, the big nickel, the big 5-0, he's going to play, guess who? Johnny Cochran, the legendary attorney. The brother was one of the greatest attorneys in the history of law. Got OJ off, many folks. He would now, before he got super famous as OJ Simpson's attorney in the double murder case, 1994, 1995. He was Michael Jackson's attorney in the 1993 child molestation case with Michael Jackson. Johnny Cochran started off entertainment lawyer out in Los Angeles. So Derek Luke is going to play Johnny Cochran in a Michael Jackson biopic. Michael Jackson's estate, run by a guy named John McClain, who used to be a big record exec. He was at A&M. John Bronca, who was Michael Jackson's manager one time. So now they control Michael Jackson's his estate, and Michael Jackson's son, Paris. They are all a part of this project. It's going to be coming out next April. As a matter of fact, April 18th of 2025. It's going to be called the Michael Jackson Biopicture. Actually, the title is Michael. Just one word. The title is Michael, the Michael Jackson Biopic. And Derek Luke is going to be playing Johnny Cochran. So we'll be looking out for that. And guess who is hooking up? No, not like Meg Thee Stallion and whoever old girl was. They caused her to be sued by her then former cameraman because he was forced to sit next to Meg and some woman, and while they were having sex in some kind of van somewhere in Spain. I digress. So guess who is hooking up? Guess who's teaching who how to pole dance, but somebody is having somebody in their movie. Cardi B. Cardi B is teaching Pam Grier. That's right. If you're old school, come on. Foxy Brown, Coffee, Sheba Baby. Yes, the one, the only Miss Pam Grier, Foxy Brown herself. Cardi B is teaching Pam Grier how to pole dance for a new movie that Cardi B is going to be in with Pam Grier. Now, according to Pam Grier, the movie's not going to come out for like another 2 years. But man, just listen, if you're like under 30, maybe even under 40, you probably heard about Pam Grier. In the 90s, she was in a movie called Jackie Brown. But now you've probably seen the movies on maybe, not so much BET. I haven't seen like Foxy Brown or Coffee or Sheba Baby, maybe Tubi. But just Google Bounce. Google Pam Grier. Because in the mid and late 70s, Pam Grier was, oh my God. Pam Grier was, you name it. You could put Beyonce and Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B, you name whoever y'all think is fine and sexy, bodied up, put all of them together, and you still wouldn't have Pam Grier back in the day. Pam Grier is a legend, was a legend. She's had an amazing life. As a matter of fact, she has got a biopic, another biography picture, just like Michael Jackson. So Pam Grier has got her biopic coming out now. We have a title. It's called Foxy, My Life in 3 Acts. So back in the day, she was this big, they called it black exploitation films. Like I said, Foxy Brown, Coffee, Sheba Baby. I think I'm leaving one out. And then in the 90s, she did Jackie Brown. She was Original Gangsters. She was in this movie with the late Jim Brown, Fred Williamson, the late Richard Roundtree. They were all in this movie. So it's called Foxy, My Life in 3 Acts. She's dated Back in the day, she was dating Richard Pryor. She was dating Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. She was dating a brother named, Latino brother named Freddie Prinze, who was huge. Really, Chico and the Man. Just Google Freddie Prinze Sr., not the son, the daddy. Back in the day, she was also, a doctor told her in 1988 she had 18 months to live. They diagnosed her with stage 4 cervical cancer. Well, here she is in 2024, still doing her thing. Still looks great. Black don't crack. 74, Gemini. Her birthday's May 25th, so she got a birthday coming up. Another May baby. She's a twin, a Gemini. So I can't wait. Man, I can't wait. So Cardi B and the original, the real Foxy Brown, not the rapper from the 90s. I'm talking about the original Foxy Brown, Miss Pam Grier herself, getting together with Cardi B. I love to see that intergenerational, across generations, hooking up. That'll be cool. That movie, I definitely want to see that movie. So today, first of all, anybody watching me live, everybody watching me live, thank you for watching the show live right now. And if you're not watching me live, but you're watching the show, thank you anyway. So let me go back today, April 24th, 2024. Election day is 195 days away. So I got a question for you. Are you better off today than you were 4 years ago today? Think about it. Are you better off today than you were 4 years ago today? Why do I ask that question? 4 years ago today, there were many Americans, probably by the thousands, in ER, emergency rooms all across America, who had poisoned themselves because a certain Orange Hitler told people 4 years ago yesterday, April 23rd, 2020, went on TV, held a press conference, presidential news conference, and told people the way to fight COVID-19 was to inject disinfectant, Lysol, to drink bleach, and to shine an ultraviolet, or back in the day we used to call it the black light. Like you had the black light posters. We're talking about Pam Grier. A lot of folks had them black light posters of Pam Grier with the big afro and the two-piece bikini. It was just, oh my God. Ultraviolet light, to shine ultraviolet light down in your body. Stick an ultraviolet light down your throat and shine the UV light in your body to kill the COVID-19 virus. Thousands of people poisoned themselves. Some died from listening to this jackass. So think about that. Think about how many people were dying. Think about how many people, millions of Americans had lost their jobs. As a matter of fact, the unemployment rate was as high as it was during the Great Depression. The last time that the unemployment rate was as high as it was in April of 2020 was back during the Great Depression, 1929 and 30, that era, 31. So are you? Now, unfortunately, many of us have friends, family, folks we went to school with, former co-workers, maybe neighbors, people that we heard about that we were fans of that didn't make it across the other side. But think about where we are today. With vaccines, we don't even think about COVID-19. It's not even an afterthought, even though it is still around and people still catch COVID-19 and you can still die from it. And there's still some folks that still didn't get vaccinated or get the vaccine. But think about where this country was. Think about where you were, the fear, the unknown, and then the misinformation and just straight deadly misinformation and lies and the ignorance that was being spouted from this dude that happened to be in the White House. So are you? You think about now where we were on April 24th, 4 years ago, 2020. If you don't know anybody personally, you heard the news reports all over TV. People injecting disinfectant. It got so bad, as a matter of fact, Lysol, the CEO of Lysol had to release a statement warning and begging people, telling people, do not ingest, do not inject our product inside of your body. Do not do that under no circumstances. Don't inject it, don't drink it, don't ingest it or inject it. Lysol had to come behind this jackass and warn people that Lysol is not to be injected or ingested by humans. So are you better off? But here's the thing. We could return to those horrifying, I should say, horrible, horrifying days and worse. And to my younger brothers and sisters, listen, I'm just going to keep saying this. I'm going to keep beating this drum. All right? You may have issues with President Biden. You may not like the way his administration has dealt with the Israeli government. And yes, their prime minister is a racist white nationalist, Bibi Netanyahu. And his immediate cabinet around him are far right-wing, racist white nationalists. Not my opinion, it's a fact. Don't take my word for it. You can talk to people in the state of Israel. As a matter of fact, there's a daily newspaper. You can read it online. Haaretz, I believe Haerehtz, Haaretz. Just Google it and read some of the opinion pages, read some of the opinion pieces on the pages online. That hundreds of thousands of people protesting, demanding A, that the remaining hostages be released, but B, that there be new elections. So why do I bring that up? Because I know for many, as a matter of fact, there have been protests today. There are protests all across America at college campuses that are supporting the Palestinian people, the innocent Palestinian people, the women and children and men who are not members of Hamas, who don't even like Hamas, who found himself in a situation where they had no one else in that region supporting them, none of the other Arab states, Muslim states. They were living under an occupation from a far right-wing white nationalist government by a Jewish version of Donald Trump, Bibi Netanyahu. And yes, Hamas on October 7th, 2024, committed an act of inhumanity, evil, depravity. I could go on with the adjectives. Just the murder and the depravity and the rape and the kidnapping is inhuman and inexcusable. Yet they should be condemned. More than condemned, they should be banished. They displayed no humanity. But then for Bibi Netanyahu to then in turn kill tens of thousands of innocent women and children on top of the innocent men, to destroy all the hospitals and universities and libraries and homes. And you haven't gotten rid of Hamas? When you know where the leaders are, Bibi Netanyahu, Bibi Netanyahu, you have been responsible for years for making sure that Hamas was being supported financially by a country called Qatar, a neighboring country in that region. As a matter of fact, about a month before October 7th, 3 weeks to 4 weeks before October 7th. So the state of Israel, they have an organization, the government, they have a branch of the government, a department, it's called Mossad. So Mossad is the Israeli version of our CIA, Central Intelligence Agency. So Bibi Netanyahu basically dispatches a member of Mossad to Qatar. And those in power in Qatar asked, because Bibi Netanyahu had basically signed off and was telling Qatar, look, I want you all need to continue to fund Hamas. Why did Bibi Netanyahu do that? Because he was trying to pit Hamas, who had control of Gaza, the Gaza Strip, that was on the west side of the state of Israel, against the West Bank, that was run by another Palestinian organization, another group of Palestinians, the Palestinian Liberation Organization, or the Palestinian Authority. They were competing factions of Palestinians on both sides of the state of Israel. And Bibi Netanyahu thought he was slick and he could engage the divide and conquer theory. I can pit Hamas and make sure that they're strong enough. So if I have to sick them on the Palestinian Authority, I can do that. Keep pitting them against each other and keep them fighting. That will just give me more power. So about a little less than a month before October 7th, Bibi Netanyahu sends someone from Mossad to Qatar to tell Qatar, oh yeah, Bibi Netanyahu say, keep giving Hamas money. Because Hamas, the leaders in Qatar was like, are you sure you still want us to fund Hamas so they can buy weapons and everything? And Bibi Netanyahu's answer through somebody from Mossad, their version of the CIA, was yeah. As a matter of fact, 1 year before October 7th, when you had 1,200 Israelis that were murdered by Hamas, when they basically just came over in hang gliders and tore down fences and killed 120 Israelis, women, children, men. That plan that Hamas executed on October 7th, 2024. The Israeli government, the Israeli military, Bibi Netanyahu knew about these plans. They literally had the plans. They were on paper. They had sketches, drawings of Hamas members on like hang gliders, flying over fences. Hamas's dumbass they wrote it down. It was on paper. Bibi Netanyahu's government, Bibi Netanyahu over in Israel, they had the plans that were on paper. The attack plans, the plans to attack Israel. And I guess thought, well, they can't really do that. And then, I'm breaking them off. I got a Qatar, the Qataris breaking them off money. So I'm thinking, I guess he thought, we cool because I'm making sure they get a check. So why do I share that story with you? Because I understand there's so many young people who, for what they see in Gaza, it's not even about politics, it's about humanity. Because they see tens of thousands. Those students don't support Hamas. Those students don't support what Hamas did to those innocent Israelis on October 7th, 2024. But they don't support tens of thousands of innocent women and children, babies. I saw a story today. A baby was orphaned. A woman lived long enough to give birth to a healthy baby, and the mom died shortly thereafter. This child is an orphan. There are thousands of stories, tens of thousands of stories like that. And these young people on college campuses and universities across America, they are trying to tell us this is a matter of morality. And what Bibi Netanyahu is doing and has done to these innocent Palestinian people is immoral. Just like what Hamas did, that despicable act of cowardice was immoral. And two immoral acts won't create morality. And that's what the majority of the people in Israel are saying. Like I said, don't take my word for it. Go online, read it for yourself. Just Google the Haaretz newspaper out of Israel. You'll see for yourself. You'll probably see videos of hunt for several months, even before what happened on October 7th, because Bibi Netanyahu is trying to turn Israel into a dictatorship, which I could never understand that, because I'm like, so you, Bibi Netanyahu, you are Jewish, and you know your ancestors, you understand, you being a Jewish man, you understand the history of your ancestors in Europe and what happened in Nazi Germany. That was all about a dictatorship with a racist, anti-Semitic sickness. So why would you want to institute and become a dictator yourself? But I digress. So to these young brothers and sisters, all that to say, I understand that this issue of what's happening in Gaza is it's a matter of morals. But let me be very clear. If Orange Hitler was to get back in office, if Donald Trump was to get back in office, this is what Donald Trump has said publicly to Bibi Netanyahu. Finish the job. Finish the job. He didn't say, like President Biden, you got to make sure that these innocent Palestinian citizens, that they can get humanitarian aid and food because they're on the verge of a famine. Just Google famine. What is a famine? When you got tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people that are on the verge of starving to death, past the point of starvation, to where they are just so famined or so ravished. Their starvation has gone to a level, there's a point of no return. So when you got a famine, you've got hunger and starvation at a level to where it's going to wipe out an entire population, or most of a population. And that's what they're staring right now. But please be clear that Mr. Donald Trump, Mr. Orange Hitler, as we refer to him on this show, has already told Bibi Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, to finish the job. And to all these young brothers and sisters of all races, as a matter of fact, we are living in a time where we don't have the luxury to be, there's a political term called a single issue voter. Because of the way he's handled or allowed, people say he's allowed Bibi Netanyahu. Well, and I've talked about that. President Biden, and I'm not a paid spokesperson, but I'm just giving it to you straight, I'm breaking it down. He has attempted to support the people of Israel. He has continued a policy publicly, from a political standpoint, a policy that's gone on since 1948, 76 years. Every president that's ever been in the White House, including President Barack Obama, President Bill Clinton, John F. Kennedy, Lyndon Johnson, Nixon, Reagan, both Bushes, every president, they've supported the state of Israel because America, along with Great Britain, are the two main countries that were responsible for creating the state of Israel and it being located geographically where it is now. Because way back in 47, going into 48, there was a discussion, the United Nations, on whether or not basically the land, the country that we know now on a map, get a map and look up Uganda. Because there was discussion to create the state of Israel on the land that is now called Uganda, on the continent of Africa. Now that would have been a hell of a trick, but I digress. I don't want you to lose focus. This election is a choice between your freedom and your oppression. And if you think that the famine, if the oppression, just the anti-Muslim hate, along with the anti-Semitism, if you don't think that can happen here in America, you are sadly mistaken. When you have a person who wants to be in the White House, who wants to be the president, who tells you he wants to be a dictator on day one, that is all you need to hear. So it's not really a choice, and it's not a choice between the lesser of two evils, because you have one person, President Biden, that believes in democracy and freedom, and he wants to make sure that he restores the rights that all women have in America that had. Now, tens of millions of women have lost those rights in 15 states, including the state of South Carolina, because now the government, that women's bodies are now the property of state governments that have laws on the books that determine whether or not a woman can decide not to have a child, to end the pregnancy, even if she's been a victim of rape or incest. Even young girls, 10, 11, 12-year-old girls, victims of rape or incest. These states are telling these young girls, these babies, it's kind of too bad what happened, but you got to have the child. We can't punish the child. You're punishing two children. Or in the state of South Carolina, you got a 6-week abortion ban. It's like, well, now, in the case of rape or incest, we'll make an exception. But if a 10-year-old is a victim of rape, incest, before she gets an abortion, she's got to report that to the police. Really? So a 10-year-old rape victim, incest victim, raped by a stepfather, uncle, maybe a biological father, a brother, she is going to go to the police and tell the police that her stepfather or her uncle or brother raped her, got her pregnant. So it's a choice. Please understand, you're choosing in 195 days, or in a lot of states sooner than that where you can early vote, But in 195 days, you are making a choice between your freedom and your oppression. And if you choose not to vote, you are voting for your oppression, because the people who already have plans on the books in a manifesto or a booklet or blueprint, nearly 1,000 pages. It's called Project 2025. You can Google it. Not only can you Google it, you can download the PDF and print it out on your printer at home, or download it to your hard drive, to your CP unit, download it to your computer, okay? You can. You are choosing between your freedom and the freedom of all those that you love, those who you have yet to love, all the unborn children and grandchildren that are coming after you. Because if you let this MAGA cult mentality and this MAGA cult leader get back in power, he is not leaving. And they have told you exactly what they plan to do. They plan to send the U.S. Army and the Marines, the Army and the Marines, to all our big cities if they decide to peacefully protest, to put down peaceful protest. How do you think they're going to do that? When Orange Hitler he had already asked when he was in office, when there was a peaceful protest in Washington, D.C., protesting the murder of George Floyd, Donald Trump asked his then Defense Secretary, a guy named Mark Esper, you can Google this too, can we shoot them? Can't we just shoot those protesters? And he was told no. But if he gets back in office, he'll have a defense secretary that won't say no. He'll have a defense secretary of defense that will say, how soon can we start shooting them? So you are choosing between your freedom and the freedom of you, your family, your brothers, your sisters, your mothers, your aunts, your nieces. You will have a national abortion ban, where the federal government basically will control all women's bodies. And men, if you don't think that's going to affect you too, because they're coming for contraceptives too. Oh yeah, condoms, all of it, birth control pills. They're coming for you too. 195 days from today. The ultimate choice is time. And you're choosing between your freedom and your oppression. And there's only two people. President Joe Biden, Orange Hitler, Donald Trump. It's a binary choice. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Cornel West, love the brother. Personally, he's got a snowball's chance on the surface of the sun of becoming president. We don't have the luxury this year, today, to be a single issue voter. I would love for Joe Biden to have told Bibi Netanyahu to kick rocks 6 months ago. But the U.S. government was not going to do that, because this government has established a policy of supporting the state of Israel. And we support the Israeli people. The vast majority, 3/4 of the people in Israel want Bibi Netanyahu's ass out of there. They wanted his ass out a year ago, and even more than want him out now. It's a choice between your freedom and your oppression. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. Thank you for watching Everybody Live. God bless each and every one of you, and especially you, God, most of all. Thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. on the West Coast. subscribe, share, screen grab, screen grab, rip the video, pull it, make it go viral, screen grab and rip a couple minutes of this monologue and put it all over every platform, YouTube, TikTok, Threads, X or Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Short right here, YouTube Story right here. Subscribe, share, screen grab, like, and binge watch all my back episodes. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. The Geno Jones Show brought to you by CM Transportation. If your business needs a dependable, reliable company that will deliver your goods and services on time, you need a dependable, reliable, on-time transportation company. And CM, like Mary, CM Transportation is the company for you. Shout out to Carissa Carter, the CEO of CM Transportation. You can learn all you need to learn and more all about CM Transportation. Go to their website, www.cmtransportationllc.net. CM, like Mary, like my mother's name, CM Transportation LLC.net, or you can call 843-606-2702, 843-606-2702, and tell CM Transportation or Ms. Carissa Carter you were watching The Geno Jones Show, and your business needs a dependable, reliable transportation company that can make sure that your goods and services and your products will get to their destination or get to you on time. The next live edition of The Geno Jones Show is going to be on Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for watching, everybody. I love you so much. Don't forget, make this episode go viral, every episode. And until then, God bless each and every one of you. I love you. We'll see you live. Now go back, if you missed some of this episode, go back and binge watch this and all my back episodes.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.